Well, hello there. Greetings and welcome to the Pick a Card for the week of Sunday, November 17th through Saturday, November 23rd. Sunday, November 17th through Saturday, November 23rd. We are at the tail end of Scorpio season. We are still in the midst of a Mercury retrograde, and there's a lot kind of going on. And so before we leave Scorpio season and head into Sagittarius season, we want to know what wisdom and guidance there is for us this week. What do we most need to know, do, and be aware of this week, November 17th through November 23rd. So you know the drill. You are to select from card group number 1, card group number 2, card group number 3. Comment your card selections below in order to be entered to win our November giveaway. All right, so welcome to the results video for our pick a card for the week of Sunday, November 17th through Saturday, November 23rd. Again, I did include the 1-minute intro before this section that you're seeing right now. That 1-minute intro is something that I normally only share on my Instagram and Facebook pages, but I have been including it in this results video. Excuse me, I'm hitting the cards. Sharing it in this results video, just for those of you who only follow me on YouTube. Just to let you know that that's something that I normally also share on Instagram and Facebook, and those who follow me over there actually get a early peek at these cards and get to make their selection. And so I've been sharing that intro for the past few weeks just to let you know my process. I might not always do that though, so you want to make sure you follow me on Instagram and Facebook. Those links are down below. Now, in the background, you might hear like the wind. I'm sitting next to a window. It's slightly open, even though it's cold. But, you know, sometimes you like a little bit of crisp, fresh air. Do y'all do that? Or is it just me? Like I might crack the window even though it's super cold outside. And so it's a kind of windy day. So you might hear some of the wind in the background. Let's see. Also, I have been, well, before I go into any announcements, I want to remind you to check the timestamp down below because you can skip ahead to whichever card group you selected. However, I also always do like an opening intuitive message, and I really have something to share this week in that message. But, you know, those of you who watched any length of time, you know that the opening intuitive message always gives deeper insight into whatever your cards reveal. And so if you use the timestamp to skip ahead, then make sure you come back here and watch this opening intuitive message. Also, throughout the week, just come back and watch your results because something that is said right now may actually make more sense later on this week as you're actually living through it. So I just want to throw that in there as well. All right, so for a couple of very quick announcements, make sure you comment your card selection down below on or before Monday, November 18th. If you want to be in the running to win our November giveaway. And every week that you comment your card selection by the Monday after I post, your name goes in the hat to win again. And so the more times you comment, you know, increases your chances of winning. So you want to make sure you tune in every week. To increase your and comment every week to increase your chances of winning. Also, I have been doing a 3-part Instagram live series, and at the time that you're seeing this results video, if you're watching this on Sunday, November 17th, part 3 may or may not be up yet. You know, on Instagram Live, they only keep the live videos available for 24 hours. And so if you've been missing those, you've already missed part 1 and part 2, but you may be able to still catch part 3. So what am I talking about? I've been doing an Instagram Live called, what am I calling it? It's a long name, something ridiculous. It's the signs to know if Mercury retrograde is digging in your ass and how to survive it. So basically, because we are still in the Mercury retrograde period, a period of time when people tend to experience a lot of setbacks and miscommunication and technological problems and just so on and so forth. It can be a very discouraging time, but it's also, there's some tips to help you to survive that. And so I've been doing a 3-part series, or I am doing a 3-part series, but each part has only been available for 24 hours before it goes away. So if you have missed part 1 and part 2, or even part 3, I don't know when you're watching this, you can also click the link down below to actually get my full-length class called the 10 Tips to Thriving During Mercury Retrograde season, or during Mercury Retrograde. And in that, I include the 3-part series, The Signs That Mercury Retrograde is Digging in Your Ass, as a bonus. So when you download the class, How to Thrive, the 10 Tips to Thriving During Mercury Retrograde, for only $10, you will also get the 3-part video series as a bonus. And that way you didn't miss anything at all. All right. So for more information, make sure you click down below. I know a lot of calendars and Google is saying that Mercury retrograde ends on November 20th. But every real astrologer knows that that is not the date in which it ends. It actually continues on, or we continue to feel the impact of it at least about 2 more weeks after that. So it's not too late to get that class. And the reason why I did the full-length class as well as the 3-part series is because this is the last Mercury retrograde of 2019. And I strongly feel that those who not only survive it, but thrive it and get the lessons out of it and don't let the obstacles deter them, actually learn how to turn obstacles into opportunities, will actually be positioned to prosper in 2020. So this is the last major roadblock and hurdle that a lot of us are going through for 2019, but it's setting us up to succeed in 2020. So you want to make sure that you click down below to get the 10 tips to thriving during Mercury retrograde season for only $10. And then as a bonus, you get my Instagram live 3-part series, how to know if Mercury retrograde is digging in your ass. So and those of you who have already purchased the class, you haven't received the bonus videos yet because I'm still filming them. You know, as of the moment that I'm filming this, I still have 1 more part to do for the Instagram live. So once that's done, I will package all of that together and send that out to you. So, and thank you to everyone who has already purchased that class. All right, y'all. So let's go ahead and get into this opening message. So as I was shuffling the cards for this reveal video, it was like I was feeling a heaviness, like a real kind of, I don't know what to call it, just a heaviness. And I apologize if I'm sniffling or I'm clearing my throat. I'm getting over a cold. But anyway, I was feeling a real kind of heaviness, but not a bad heaviness. It's kind of like, you know, that feeling you get when you're getting ready to move on to the next level or the next stage or next whatever in life. And, but it's like, you know, let's just say you get a promotion on your job and you know that you're preparing for where you're going, but at the same time, you got to clear out your desk, your current desk, so that you can move to your new office. And so I'm really feeling like with us being at the end of Scorpio season and preparing to go into Sagittarius season in just a few days, actually, it's really kind of like that heaviness of making sure that we have cleaned out everything that we want to clean out. that it's very important that we understand that this next level of our lives, we can't go into it carrying the same weight, the same burdens, the same problems, tripping over the same hurdles and everything that we have already gone through, right? So, as I was shuffling the cards, and I'm always, when I'm shuffling, well, you don't know, but when I prepare for a pick a card reading, it's like I shuffle the cards. I kind of talk to the cards, for, lack of a better word of explaining that. But, and I'm just asking, what does my audience most need to know, do, and be aware of this week? Like what message do they need to hear? And it was like all of a sudden I really just started feeling that feeling of it's time to clean out and clear out and eliminate the things that we know we need to clear out and eliminate. We are all preparing to move, whether you're talking about moving into Sagittarius season, and my motto, everybody's a Sagittarius, including you. Everybody's a Scorpio, including you. So no matter what your sun sign is, whenever the sun moves into that sign, we are all experiencing the lessons of that sign. And so we have been experiencing the lessons of Scorpio, and we're preparing to experience the lessons of Sagittarius. And Scorpio, those of you who did watch my video, Everybody's a Scorpio, including you, hopefully I will remember to link that down below. But I talked about how Scorpio season is that time when we are all being challenged to face the deepest, darkest parts of ourselves. And take pride, yes, in those deepest, darkest desires, those deepest, darkest hidden secrets within ourselves, our most intimate parts of ourselves, and find beauty in that. But at the same time, it's also a time, especially with it being a Mercury retrograde season, it's a time of clearing out whatever we find in those places within ourselves that is no longer beneficial, and even facing the dark parts of ourselves that we don't want to face about ourselves. So I'm really feeling like right now, with this preparing to transition from Scorpio season into Sagittarius, and then also experiencing this Mercury retrograde, we are really having to make sure that we did the work to clean out and clear out the parts of us that need to be cleansed. It's almost like, like during the springtime when there's a spring cleaning. And that's typically when people are literally cleaning their houses and cleaning out their closets. Well, Scorpio season to me is kind of like the season of spiritual and soul level cleaning. To go within and, yes, admire the beauty that's hidden within ourselves, deep within ourselves, and to honor our deepest desires, but at the same time to face the part of ourselves that maybe we've been ignoring, any hidden jealousies, anger, resentments, stagnation, procrastination, just parts of ourselves that we need to face it and deal with it and clean it out. Because like I stated earlier, 2020 is going to be a big year for a lot of people. And I even said that in my reading of the year I did back in January of 2019. And that's still up here on YouTube. I said those who make it through 2019 and really face themselves and don't let obstacles and problems and just the situations of life, people, the challenges to really stop you and to block you, but you learn and grow from them. Those will be the ones at the end of 2019 and going into 2020 who will be extraordinarily pleased and extraordinarily happy, and be positioned. And not because, not so happy because, oh, everything is perfect, but happy because you did it, happy because you grew, happy because you made it through. It's kind of like a workout. When you go to the gym or you do a really strong workout, it's not fun for most people while you're doing it. But once you're done, you're like, wow, you know, I'm really proud of myself. I feel good. I actually feel good about myself, right? So that is what 2019 is for a lot of people. And those who do that can be prepared to enjoy the fruit of their labor in 2020. So, part of what I feel is the lesson for all of us, no matter which card group you selected, is that this week will be a week of revisiting those deepest, darkest parts of yourself, and make sure that there's nothing within you that you are avoiding, overlooking, don't want to face, don't want to deal with, you know, any hurts, pain, resentment, you know, and to learn to heal from that and to grow and to elevate. And because Sagittarius energy is all about walking in that new version of yourself, walking in that that part of you that is aspiring to grow and elevate to your next level. All right, so that is it for my opening intuitive message. Make sure that you come back and listen to this and see how it applies to whichever card group you selected. A couple of quick announcements. I have a couple of Magic of Me intuitive natal chart reading slots still available, so make sure you book that now. Once you click on the link below, you will you can also then read the full description of what that is, what my version of a natal chart reading is. I also have the mini edition of the Magic of Me, where I only look at your sun, moon, and rising signs. So that's a really great reading if you're just kind of dipping your toe into astrology and you don't want to be too overwhelmed. Then I would highly suggest that you get that reading. Also, you can book the Clarity Now reading if you just have a general question about your life that you want an answer on. You can book that reading, and then get my book, The Magic of Self-Love, that is available on Amazon, and it makes the perfect holiday gift for yourself or for a loved one, so make sure you get that. And then let's see, make sure you comment your card selection on or before November 18th. And then also there's a link below to leave a love offering. If these readings are benefiting you in any kind of way, make sure that you can always leave me a love offering / donation. You can support this channel, and you can do that via PayPal or Cash App. And so that is it for our announcements. So those of you who selected card group number 1, your reading is up next. All right, so welcome to the results for those of you who selected card group number 1. I will quickly go over the announcements just in case you use the timestamp to skip ahead. Make sure that you comment your card selections on or before Monday, November 18th if you want to be in the running to win our November giveaway. Every Monday that you do that, your name goes in the hat an additional time, so that increases your chances of winning. Make sure you click the link below to book a personal reading, to get my book, The Magic of Self-Love, and to leave a love offering, also known as a donation, down below in support of this work. Also, I am, for a few more days, I have available the 10 tips to thriving during Mercury Retrograde for only $10. That's an hour-long class on basically getting in position now, because those of us who do it now will be in a stronger position to prosper in 2020. And when you get that, you also get access to, as a bonus, my 3-part Instagram live series. Now, as of today, Sunday, November 17th, that you are seeing this, the 3rd part of that bonus is probably being recorded right now. So if you are purchasing the audio class, then you will receive the 3-part bonus series probably in a day or so. Because, you know, Instagram only lets you keep videos live for 24 hours. And then after that, they're no longer available. So that's why I wanted to include that bonus to those of you who got the $10 class down below. So anyway, that is it. So let's go ahead and get into your reading. So at the top of your cards, you have a rose quartz and some parsley. You might have been wondering, like, what is this? Why she got produce on the cards this week? Oh, excuse me. And if you skipped ahead, you might not know that I said earlier I might be clearing my throat a lot through this, and it's only because I'm getting over a cold. So, but I feel great, so I just want to throw that in there for your listening pleasure. Anyway, so parsley. Parsley is one of those things, a lot of times it's just thrown on a plate, right? It's like some garnish to make your food more appealing looking. And then they say you can also eat it for digestion. Now, what's very interesting is that I discovered a recipe for like a juicing recipe, a smoothie juicing recipe that calls for like a large sum of parsley in it, and it's helping to clear out. This may be a good tip for those of you who might be getting over a cold. It helps to clear out some of that mucus and whatnot, and just cleanse your body. So it's very cleaning in that way. But for other purposes, like magical purposes, right? Parsley is one of those herbs that has two purposes. One is used for protection. So sometimes people will use this like in a spiritual bath. This will be one of the ingredients put into the spiritual bath to help with protection. But it has been used for love and money drawing as well. So when it's used for that, it can be used in a spiritual bath that includes other love and money drawing ingredients, such as a rose quartz, right? So we'll see how or if this even plays into your reading. This week we are looking at what you most need to know, do, or be aware of as it relates to us being at the end of Scorpio season and preparing to go into Sagittarius season, and still being in this Mercury Retrograde season. So it's a lot of time for clearing. Wow, that's maybe why this parsley is used. Time for clearing, time for cleansing, time for making sure that your interests are protected, that your heart is protected, hence the rose quartz, and being willing to continue to revisit even the darkest spaces within yourself, and to eliminate anything that may be hindering or blocking you from moving forward, and be willing to cleanse out instead of just like a spring cleaning. During this time of the year is more of a soul and a spiritual cleansing. So that takes some honesty and the intention of being looking at yourself very honestly, and whatnot. So anywho, so that is that. And to learn more about that, also go back and listen to my opening intuitive message, because I really go into details about that there. So the card on the top here, for those of you who maybe this is your first time watching, comes from a goddess energy deck. And I don't know what goddess is here. Some of these goddesses I'm familiar with, some I'm still learning about. So I will give my own interpretation, but I will also read the information that comes with the card. So let's see what goddess you receive. Wow. I haven't seen her in a while. Skuld, I believe is how her name is pronounced. And she deals with, like you see here, the future. And just take a moment to take this goddess in. I normally open with reminding you that these readings are collaborative. It's not me telling you something about yourself, but it's me helping you to be able to see yourself in a new light, or see yourself more deeply. So we are collaborating in this bigger card reading. So I want you to just kind of take this card in, this goddess, And whether you believe in the goddesses or not, it doesn't really matter. You know, if you just see it as mythology, then find the lesson that they have. If you, whether you're a man or a woman, it doesn't matter, because the goddesses have messages for us all. But Sculpt deals with the future. And in my opening intuitive message, I talked about how those of us who are facing Mercury retrograde head on and are not being overcome by the obstacles, but are using the challenges to help us to learn and to grow and to elevate, will actually experience a lot of joy in 2020. We'll at least be positioned to prosper, because we did the work now. And so the work that we are doing now, those of us who are facing it, are actually preparing for a prosperous future, for a strong future. But you build the future in the present, right? And so you can't live in the past or the future. You only have right now. And it's right now that helps you to heal the past, but also to prepare and position yourself for the future. So let's see what Skuld, the goddess Skuld, has for us, for you all who selected card group number 1, what lessons she has for you. I'll read the empowerment message and the alignment message. So the empowerment message says, as you set your intentions for the life you desire, the Norse goddess Skuld comes to show you glimpses of your future. You experience these magical journey markers as flashes of insight and moments of inspiration, like an echo of something that exists in another dimension. It's fun when things turn out exactly how you predicted, but remember that the essence of your intention means more than its form. The goddess Skuld, who rules the destiny of gods and men, says remaining true to the moment is your greatest power. Allowing the self to evolve as you go and discovering new things today sets the path for destiny to unfold. The power of the present and how you respond to life's potential is the potent, fertile seed of the future. In order to claim the future, you must attend to the now. Even then, nothing is guaranteed and everything is infused with magic. Wow. So I really just kind of said that, you know, you can't live in the past or the future. You only can live in the now, but it's what you do in the now that heals your past and prepares you for your future. And so when I was talking about, in the opening intuitive message, I mentioned how we are still in this Mercury retrograde, and I just said it a few minutes ago too. But bear with me, y'all. But I talked about us being in this Mercury retrograde season, this last one of 2019, and those who, you know, I really so strongly feel like this last hurdle of 2019 is preparing and positioning us for prosperity and our greatness in 2020. And some people will be sitting on the sidelines in 2020 wondering, like, why, why I don't have this, or why I didn't get this opportunity, or why, it's because they didn't do the work in the now. You prepare now. And so again, I highly encourage you to get my audio class, the 10 tips to thriving during Mercury retrograde season, which will also include those bonus live classes, because it will tell you exactly what you need to do in the now to position yourself for your future. All right. So, that I'm not really trying to, I'm mentioning it not for just trying to push a sale. It's right now, it really is because we're in the moment. We're in this moment right now. And we need this. We need to do what we've got to do right now, what the now is calling us to do, what the now is positioning us for. That's really, really important, you all. So anyway, I'm going to continue. The alignment message that Skull has for you, and the alignment message is just if you find yourself out of alignment with, her empowerment message. But it says, when you become overly fixated on the future, you rob yourself of the capacity to truly co-create a life that is meaningful and rich. It's because doing so gives your power away to some destination that has no substance. It's like you are wandering around in a ghostly place that the goddess Skuld warns you to avoid. Perhaps you've been taught that better things come later, like getting to the wonders of heaven after difficulties on earth. The truth is that you can get back into alignment. So consider this: your life now and how you respond to it are the seeds that will grow into your future. Your alignment task is to remove all the weeds before they choke the life out of your intentions. Bless your life today. Find the lessons in the conditions of your world and be compassionate to yourself and others. We are all learning to find strength in our most vulnerable selves as the world changes rapidly around us. The goddess Skuld is with you all the way and always. Wow. So again, you can't be so caught up in the future, because the future is, you're going towards the future, but all you have is your now. All you have is your present moment. And so if you're future tripping and you're avoiding the blessings of right now, then you're still missing the lessons of the moment that will prepare you for that future. All right. So think on that and come back to this message later on throughout the week to build upon that even more. So the cards you have here, the one on the bottom is just your general insight. Excuse me, your general insight and wisdom. The one that crosses it tells you what can help or hinder you at this time. So, wow. Okay, so you have the Nine of Swords, and it is crossed by the High Priestess. The Nine of Swords, and it is crossed by the High Priestess. All right, so the Nine of Swords is a card, wow, of worry. It is a card of future tripping, like Skuld warns you against. Hello, listen up. So the Nine of Swords is a card of worry. It's that card of anxiety. It's that card of stressing about what is to come. It's the card of overthinking. It's the card of worst case scenarios and playing that over and over again in your mind. It is also the card that says the thing that you worry about isn't even as bad as you think it is. And even if it's bad, it's still not as bad as you think it is. Or the problems that you're facing that you think are going to be so hard to solve and so difficult to overcome will not be nearly, those challenges won't be nearly as difficult as you think they will be. And so this week, November 17th through the 23rd, we are all being challenged to go back, review, because we're still in Mercury Retrograde. I just can't say that enough. Mercury Retrograde does not end on November 20th. We will still be experiencing it. No matter what they say, online, that it ends November 20th. No, it will still be impacting us well into December. So, those of us who, this week we are challenged, with that Mercury retrograde and with us transitioning from Scorpio to Sagittarius season, to go back into the deepest, darkest parts of ourselves. Now, some of you don't want to do it, obviously, with this Nine of Swords, because, it just brings back more worry, more concern. You don't know how to solve the problem, so why do you want to keep looking at the problem? You don't know how to heal the past, so why keep looking at it? You don't, so it's all of reflection, maybe leading a lot of you into avoidance. And you don't want to do that. I'm really feeling that some of you, there's some things you don't want to face. You would rather just avoid it, because when you face it, it just leads to worry. So you might even be pretending like it's not even there. But when I see the Nine of Swords, I do see that, yeah, there may be cause for concern, but it's nothing that you can't face. It's nothing that you can't overcome. It's not an obstacle that is insurmountable. And how I know that even more is because it's being crossed for you this week by the High Priestess. The High Priestess is the card that represents divine spiritual insight, wisdom, and guidance. When I see this card, it's such a blessing because it lets me know that, they say, something bigger than you that's helping you. There's something, bigger than you. It could be God, your higher self, the universe, however you define all these things, right? But it's something, there's a wisdom that is deeper and more comprehensive than the wisdom that's in your head. Look at all these swords over this person's head. These swords, that mental anxiety, stress, overwhelm. But here, the High Priestess is like that ancient divine wisdom. Your problems basically won't be solved by what's in your head, because what's in your head is only worry, overwhelm, and concern. Your problems will be solved, and you will know how to overcome whatever obstacles you're facing, not by just going over and over it, y'all, I'm trying to talk, y'all. Going over them over and over again in your mind, but instead, some of you will have to suspend your mental thought, meaning prayer and meditation. Like the answer will come through prayer and meditation, or will come through, perhaps because a High Priestess is feminine energy. It doesn't have to necessarily be a woman though, but somebody who has deeper intuitive or spiritual knowledge than yourself, because sometimes we're so caught up in what's in our head that even if we are someone who is spiritually wise, when you're facing problems, it's hard to tap into that part of yourself. So sometimes you do have to seek out counsel from somebody who is not being affected by what you're being affected by, because they're kind of a neutral, they are objective to what you are facing, right? But again, this could be you. It could really just be you letting go of what's burdening your mind, and just saying, you know what, the same mind that got you into the problem is not the mind that will get you out. So you have to suspend all of that anxious thinking, all that worry, all of that overwhelm, all of that overthinking, all of that going over the problem over and over again, or trying to figure it out. How do I solve this? How do I get out of this? How do I move out of this house I don't want to be in? How do I solve this problem with my children? How do I heal this relationship? How? No, the High Priestess energy is more of realizing that you don't know the how. So the best thing you can do is surrender and just say, you know what? I'm trusting that there's wisdom and guidance and insight bigger than what's in my own mind that can guide me out of this position that I'm in now. So basically, the how-to won't come from your own brain. It won't come because you don't know the how. You don't know the how. So this is a time of faith, actually. This is a time of trusting. This is a time of asking for the answers that you need, and then relaxing your mind and trusting that those answers will come. All right? So let's see what wisdom cards you received. Orphaned. Wow. Orphaned. I know when I see that card, it is usually about feeling displaced and trying to find your place. So let's see what this card has for you, what wisdom it has. A sense of loss and identity crisis. Recognizing that you don't fit in, the need to belong, uncertainty about your place. We were all meant to have connections with other people within our families, society, and the larger culture. No man is an island, and it's important to recognize when being a part of, rather than separate from, is essential to your well-being. The issue at hand is the need to find where you fit. Be true to your core truths and values. Perhaps you no longer identify with a group or community the way you did before and need to find a new situation. You might be feeling a deep sense of loss or confusion. Address the need for belonging and know that you will find your place with others of like mind and spirit. It's okay to let go of pressure to fit in. Not everyone will understand you. It's time to move on. Wow. So if you have been, in this in-between space of of your past and the future, of where you want to be and where you are, and you're trying to find your place and it's causing worry and mental anxiety, what I'm feeling mostly is that, trust this ride that you're on right now. You may not even come up with the answer this week. And I'm really feeling like for some of you, that's where you need to be. That you need to, the lesson for you this week is to learn how to not worry and stress, how to not be so concerned about where you don't fit in, and trusting that, there is wisdom and guidance that is leading you toward a bright future. It's about learning how to be comfortable in the uncomfortable spaces and to not stress and worry about it, but to have confidence in who you are and to trust in who you are and to know that you are most certainly loved, and to increase in your own self-love during this time of change, during this time of transition, during this time of us all being forced to reflect on, the deepest parts of ourselves so that we can heal and move forward to what the future has for us. So just be comfortable with where you are. Learn to be in this space where you don't have all the answers, but also not worrying about not having all the answers, because it's all about trusting and knowing that you are going in the direction and towards a destination that you need, that's best for you. All right. So that is the wisdom that I have for you this week, November 17th through the 23rd. Again, make sure you comment your card selections down below on or before Monday, November 18th, in order to be entered to win our November giveaway, which is announced at the end of the month. Also, click the links down below to book a personal reading, to get my book, The Magic of Self-Love, and most definitely, before it goes away, to get the 10 tips to thriving during Mercury Retrograde season, which will also include the bonus live, Instagram lives, in a couple of days that will go out as well. So make sure that you get that. And then, if this reading has blessed you in any kind of way, you can leave a love offering or a donation, and that link is down below as well. So until we speak again, I am wishing you all so much peace and love. Thank you so much for watching. All right, greetings and welcome to the results for card group number 2. Let me slide card group number 3 a little bit out the way. All right, so I will quickly go over the announcements for those of you who use the timestamp to skip ahead. Make sure that you comment your card selections down below on or before Monday, November 18th, if you want to be in the running to win our November giveaway. Every Monday that you comment on that week's pick a card reading, your name goes in the hat an additional time, so that increases your chances of winning. So why not comment? Make sure that you click the link below to purchase my online audio class and get instant access to it, called the 10 tips to thriving during Mercury retrograde season. Contrary to popular belief, Mercury retrograde does not end on November 20th. It does start to come out of retrograde, but we will still be feeling its impact going into December. So you still want to make sure that you get that audio class. I strongly believe that those of us who position ourselves and face the obstacles of Mercury retrograde, this last one of 2019, we will be better positioned for our success in 2020. And so you want to make sure that you get that. And then as a bonus, I've been doing a 3-part live Instagram live called The Signs to Know That Instagram is, excuse me, Instagram. It's an Instagram live, but it's called The Signs to Know That Mercury Retrograde has been digging in your ass and how to survive it. And so when you do an Instagram live, those videos are only available for 24 hours. And so part 3 is being filmed on Sunday, November 17th. And that part will be available for 24 hours. The other parts will already be gone. And so as a bonus, when you get the audio class down below, I will include all 3 parts of that Instagram live as a bonus feature. So you still want to make sure you get that class down below. It's only $10. Also, you can book a personal reading, get my book The Magic of Self-Love, and then leave a love offering or donation in support of this channel if this work is benefiting you in any kind of way. Also, if you skipped ahead, then you missed my opening intuitive message, which is very much connected to these readings here. So make sure you go back and listen to the opening intuitive message, because it will help you have greater insight into your card selection there. Okay, so at the top of your cards, you have a green calcite and some rosemary. I'm sorry, I had to hold to my nose to smell it. I love, 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 love the smell and the taste of rosemary. Rosemary is one of those herbs. Oh my gosh, it's a hardy herb, meaning like it, if you've ever, those of you who've planted rosemary, you know, it doesn't even really die like other herbs in the wintertime. Like, it's hardy. It's cold resistant, or it dies a little bit, but you know, not like some of the other ones. Like it can stand winter a little bit better. And it's one of those herbs that you will find in a lot of breads, stews, soups, roast, all kinds of recipes call for rosemary. It's very refreshing in the summer, but it's also very comforting in the winter, in the fall and winter seasons. So it's just one of those herbs. Gosh, now I wish I used to have a rosemary bush, a plant, and I was going to, it was in a pot, and I was going to put it in the ground so it could grow into, you know, a bush, and I didn't, and now I wish I did. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. So rosemary is one of those herbs, when it comes to energy work and stuff like that, is really good for protection. And because it has a very clearing power to it, meaning like if you burn rosemary essential oil or diffuse it in an oil diffuser, or if you take a bunch of this fresh rosemary and put it in a pot and boil it and allow the aroma to fill your home, it actually can help remove negative energy. So it works really well with like sage and eucalyptus and peppermint and all of those kinds of herbs that help to clear the air. Even if not for negative energy purposes, but just to clear your sinuses, right? So it's really good for that. It helps to, and because it clears out, it helps to bring peace into a home. So it's very helpful for matters of peace and keeping a clear and peaceful and loving environment, which is very useful in connection with this green calcite. Calcite in general can help with, matters of the heart, especially, this green calcite, especially, matters of the heart and healing the heart and the heart chakra, but also with clearing one's mind so that it's not blocked with thoughts that are unbeneficial. It helps you to transform even negative belief systems or stagnant energy within yourself or within your mind to ones that are more abundant and fruitful and prosperous and positive and more elevating. And so this stone is also used to help bring peace of mind, peace of heart, healing of the heart, but then also for fertility and abundance. So both of these are really good to use. You could even put them both under your pillow at night. Rosemary is said to bring peaceful sleep and good dreams. Sometimes it is used to help one in their mind if they have to study and use their brain power. It was just really helpful even with Mercury being retrograde, because Mercury deals with our mental capacity, you know, and when it's retrograde, sometimes we are feeling more anxious in our mind, so it can really help with that as well. So, you know, like I always tell you, if you want to learn more, you can Google rosemary, like the energetic or magical uses for rosemary, and also green calcite. All right, so let's get into your cards. The card on the top here comes from a goddess energy deck. Most of the goddesses I'm familiar with, some I am still learning about, so I will give my own 2 cents about it, whichever goddess appears, and I will also read the information that came with the cards. So let's see which goddess you received. Ooh. All right. Now I'm going to try to say her name. Y'all know how I feel when I mispronounce the goddesses' names. Because, y'all, let me tell you, I know that I say this every single time, but some of y'all, this might be your first time watching, so I'm going to repeat myself. Goddesses, like all women, love when you come to them correctly. Like, you don't have to be perfect, but they do want to know that, like, you cared enough to try to treat them honorably, respectfully. And one way to do that is just to learn how to pronounce their names. But I believe her name is pronounced Liezi or Lazy. I don't want to say lazy. That sounds like lazy. But Liezi. And this is such a beautiful card. You know, I always say that we are co-collaborators in this reading, so don't just be waiting for me to tell you something. I mean, just take the energy in. What do you feel, right? It's very angelic, the energy of this card, and you know, it says revelation at the bottom, and as I'm like looking at her face and how her expression, how she is really tuning into this light that's in the palm of her hand, it's like awareness, like that moment of awareness that you have, but that awareness being in the palm of your hand, right? Let me just read what this goddess has to say, because I'm feeling a lot, and I will add my own 2 cents as I read. The first message that I'll read is her empowerment message. And like I always tell you, you know, whether you're a man or a woman, it doesn't matter. The goddesses speak to us all. Whether you believe the goddesses actually existed in human form or you just believe it's mythology, it doesn't matter. Their stories have lessons for us all. And so she has an empowerment message, and then there's also an alignment message to help you should you find yourself out of alignment with her empowerment message. So the empowerment message says, there are moments when synchronicity brings all the elements together for a flash of insight to rise up in you in a glorious epiphany. Whatever, I don't know if y'all can hear that wind in the background. If you missed my opening, I mentioned how I'm sitting by a window and I have it cracked. And the sound of the wind is just so, I don't know how it sounds on the camera, but for me, it almost sounds like the ocean, y'all. It's just so, I don't know. Tonight that I'm filming this just feels so magical. But, all right, back to this goddess. All right, Tonya, focus. Okay, I'm going to start over. There are moments when synchronicity brings all the elements together for a flash of insight to rise up in you in a glorious epiphany. Whatever was not clear becomes crystalline in an instant. It's as if you are able to simultaneously perceive every facet in a diamond. You know without a doubt that you are on the right track as deep understanding sinks into your soul. In this moment, change and transformation takes place. And a transcendent moment is offered to you as an extraordinary gift. Now is one of those times. The Chinese goddess Liezi, mother of lightning, wow, brings revelations into your life with a flash. She gifts you with this as a result of all the hard work you have put into dismantling your old self and making space for who you want to become. This is a very auspicious time. Wow. So this week, November 17th through the 23rd, you might get lots of flashes of insight. It reminds me of one of my favorite books, The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho, where he talks about intuition. There's a line in that where he talks about intuition, where it being a sudden immersion of your soul basically into the universal consciousness, right? And lightning itself seems like such a huge burst of energy, a flash of light, but it's really just all of this energy that's so powerful, like it can light up the sky almost as bright as the sun, right? But insight and awareness is very similar to a flash of lightning. It comes and it goes, so you want to catch it. When this week, when you have insight, when you have divine awareness, when you have sparks of insight that just seem to flash into your mind out of nowhere, you might want to write it down really quickly before it leaves your mind. When you have moments like that and you say, oh, I'll write it down later. Even your dreams. Wow. Notice I said you could dream with rosemary under your pillow. Even your dreams can be very, very insightful, and you might be tempted to say, oh, I'll remember, I'll write it down later. No. You might want to keep a notepad by your bed this week and write down your dreams, or your audio recorder on your phone even, and just record those flashes of insight. It doesn't have to be eloquent. It doesn't have to be super profound. You just want to document it while you can, before you forget. Because those sparks of intuition, those sparks of revelation, when you get when things are revealed to you, where you get divine insight and wisdom, can be life-changing for you once you apply that wisdom. So you want to document it while you can. So the alignment message says, sometimes life throws you a curveball and it feels like you've been hit by lightning. Perhaps a romantic partner betrays you suddenly, an illness strikes someone close to you, a job you expected fell through, the new employee turns out to be a dud, or you get a huge tax bill. No matter what the subject, your task is to pivot and course correct according to the needs of the event. Even if you don't understand what's happening, don't second guess yourself. Some things are not meant to be predictable, and detours may be exactly what you need. Loss or bad news aren't the only options in this situation. You may have just been offered something you've always wanted, such as a proposal from a lover, a better job, or the chance to move. Your tendency might be to try to control the circumstances or worry you may not be prepared for the change. The goddess Liezi reminds you that the great goddess will never give you more than you can handle. Your alignment task is to surrender to what is in front of you. You can do this. So again, sometimes, those lightning bolts come as detours in life, come as changes, unexpected obstacles. Again, we are still in Mercury Retrograde, and my theme this Mercury Retrograde, I keep saying, turning obstacles into opportunities and problems into your prosperity. So those obstacles are those challenges that seem to come out of nowhere. go with the flow. Be, don't let the strike of that kind of lightning overtake you, but understand that those obstacles are designed to show you an opportunity that you would not have seen otherwise. So it's still like a flash of lightning, a bolt of lightning that gives you deeper insight and awareness that you may not have been aware of before. And what I'm feeling, some of you, you know how a minute ago I said, write down those divine inspirational moments that come to you, or even your dreams. But also when an obstacle seems to come out of nowhere, just pause, just hit pause for like 5 minutes in your life and sit down and write down, okay, here's the obstacle, here are the top 5 ways to get over, around, under, whatever, to bypass this obstacle. Because it will then put your brain in the mode of problem solving. And it's not really so much so that you can come up with a solution, but it's to trigger your brain to think like lightning, is to trigger the part of you to, it's like saying that you're open to divine insight. So it's like, okay, I'm going to pause. I'm not going to worry about this. But what I am going to do is to start brainstorming, okay, all of the ways to get over and around this obstacle. And then through that, like a flash of lightning, an idea may come to your mind, or, somebody may say something to you that gives you an awareness or a tip or something that you would not have known to do otherwise. All right. So that is it for this goddess here. All of the goddesses have their own storylines and their mythology that are designed to teach us lessons. So you know what I always tell you to do. Google this goddess, look her up and see, read her story, and just, perhaps her story can give you further insight into your wisdom this week. All right, so the card on the bottom here is your general insight and wisdom. The card that crosses it can tell you what can help or hinder this card here. All right, so you receive the Page of Wands, and it's crossed by the King of Cups. The Page of Wands crossed by the King of Cups. All right, so the Page of Wands is the card of motivation, drive, that first spark of excitement because you want to do something, you want to try something new, you want to go in a new direction, and you don't necessarily know everything that lies ahead. You could end up creating something as remarkable as these pyramids back here, right? But it's that youthful kind of energy of when you first get motivated about something, you first get excited about something. This week you could come across a new idea, a new business opportunity, a new even a new love that excites you, right? Because it's crossed by the King of Cups. And even though the King of Cups is often a lot of times when I see the King of Cups, it comes up like at a time when it's about, like emotional stability. The King of Cups is the king of emotions, meaning he's not necessarily emotional, but he is definitely that energy that like someone who is sensitive and someone who can feel deeply, but also someone who is wise enough to not necessarily be tossed to and fro based on their emotions, but they're in control of their emotions, but they're not emotionless. They are still sensitive, they still feel, they still have a heart, and they use their heart to guide them towards wise decisions and choices. And so for some of you, the Page of Wands may indicate a time of a new passion, a new love. You might meet someone new that you're really interested in, and it's just, it's like, what I'm feeling is like when your heart is reignited, and it's that first excitement of like that first date, or when somebody that you're interested in talks to you, and it's like you're kind of giddy and excited about it. And what comes with that is you know, that there's like still an emotional maturity with that. So feeling the passion and the excitement, but not being so carried away that you're so young and dumb, but you grow emotionally from it. This can be a new love. This can be a new opportunity, even just something that excites you emotionally, something that, you know, gives you that new spark of joy when you wake up in the morning. It excites you, this new business opportunity or this new job or this new, you know, circle of friends that you have, whatever, you know, that gives you kind of that new youthful excitement and passion, and you can't wait to get started. You can't wait to get going. You can't wait to talk to this person. You can't wait to, you know, dig your hands in deep and into this new venture or whatever it means for you. That's why I'm naming a bunch of stuff, because you're not the only one who selected card group number 2. So, you know, whatever that means for you. It's like a new passion, a new drive, a new love, a new something that just gives you joy and excitement. But with that is coming emotional maturity with it, so that you're not so carried away in your emotion that you miss the deeper meaning as to why this opportunity or this new love or this new relationship or whatever is coming to you. The King of Cups is like, okay, yes, let's be excited and let's be in love, and let's be in love with this opportunity and what's happening. And because we love it so much, we're going to make wise choices so that this isn't just something that is just youthful and comes and goes fleetingly, but it's something that can be long lasting. Endured for the long term. And even with this goddess here, you know, being the goddess of lightning and that revelation, sometimes when we get a new revelation, a new insight into something, is so exciting that we just get caught up in that first spark, right? And that first lightning bolt, that first spark, that first moment that person talks to us, that first time that business opportunity becomes open, whatever it is that first sparks us. But that first spark is not enough to last the long term. And so the King of Cups is like, you know, let's turn that this might be a bad way of saying this, because I don't think this doesn't have one night stand energy, but I'm gonna just say it so that you can feel what I'm saying. Let's turn that one night stand into a 30-year marriage, right? Let's turn that one night of going to that interest meeting about that business into actually turning it into $1 million enterprise. You know, let's turn that one job interview into a long-lasting career, right? So it's taking that first spark, that first passion, that first excitement, and adding emotional maturity to it so that it lasts long beyond that first spark. All right, so let's see what your wisdom card says. Wow. All right, here and now. And this card is almost very self-explanatory. It's about living in the here and now, not being in the future, not being in the past, which is very interesting because it's very similar to what card group number 1 got. But I ain't going to tell you because you ain't picked card group number 1. But you could rewind the tape and a video and go and watch it. I ain't stopping you. Anyway, let's see what wisdom here and now has for you. Let's see. All right, here we go. Here and now. What's that song? Was that Luther Vandross? I can't remember. I promise it. Let me not sing because y'all, I'm getting over a cold. It ain't gonna be pretty. So anyway, I'm gonna stop there and I'm just gonna read to you what here and now has to say. Being fully present in the moment, living one day at a time. Everything happens in the now, in the present. Only this moment counts. You have what it takes to handle anything today if you let go of the need to look into the future or reflect on the past. Be present and notice what is going on right now. This very moment has the potential for you to create miracles in your life. Wow. Wow, that is powerful, because to me it really ties into what the goddess Liezi is saying, and why I was saying make sure that you have a notepad or your audio recording on your phone for when you're in the here and now, and those lightning bolts moments happen in the here and now, that divine insight and wisdom just hits you in the moment, that you capture it and you write it down, because it's going to be those here and now moments, those divine insight and lightning bolt moments in your here and now, that will tell you how to heal your past and how to move forward in your future. Those here and now moments will be the times when you get that spark of passion and drive and motivation to pursue something new. And it will also be the moments that show you how you can transform or grow those here and now moments into longevity, that continue to produce joyous and emotionally fulfilling moments going into the future. So that's your reading for this week, November, what's this week, 17th through the 23rd. Make sure that you comment your card selections on or before Monday, November 18th, so that you can be in the running to win our November giveaway. Make sure that you get the 10 tips to thriving during Mercury retrograde season, so that you can know how to position yourself for a serious win in 2020. And again, that will eventually, we'll send out the Instagram live videos as a bonus to go with that class. Book a personal reading, get my book The Magic of Self-Love, and leave a love offering donation in support of this channel. And those links are down below. So it has been my extraordinary pleasure to do this reading this week. I appreciate each and every one of you so much for tuning in. And until we speak again, I am wishing you all so much peace and love. All right, so welcome to the results for card group number 3. I will quickly go over the announcements just in case you were one of the ones who used the timestamp to skip ahead. So, let's see. So make sure make sure that you go back and listen to my opening intuitive message, because the things that I talked about in that message, as far as what we're experiencing now, transitioning from Scorpio into Sagittarius season, along with this Mercury retrograde that does not end on November 20th like they say online. It continues. We continue to feel the impact of that going into December. So I actually talk about that in my opening intuitive message, and it will actually help you to have a deeper insight into what we'll talk about here in your cards here. Also, make sure that you click below to get my audio class, the 10 tips to thriving during Mercury retrograde season. This is the last Mercury retrograde of 2019, and it is a game changer. Those who know how to flow through it will position themselves to prosper in 2020. And so I talk about that in that audio class, and that is available right now as of me filming this for only $10. So you want to make sure, well, it will always be only $10, but it might not always be available. So you want to make sure that you get that now, and when you do it, you get instant access to that full class. You will also get access to, as a bonus, you will also receive 3 live Instagram live videos that I did. When you do an Instagram live, they only save your videos for 24 hours, and so I am including this 3-part series that I'm doing as a bonus to those who purchase the 10 tips to thriving during Mercury retrograde season. So when you get that audio class for only $10, you get the 3-part Instagram live videos, which is actually titled "How to Know When Instagram is," how to know when Mercury retrograde is digging in your ass and how to survive it. That was kind of those Instagram lives were kind of impromptu, but they help to give deeper insight into the actual audio class. So anyway, you get that 3-part series as a bonus when you purchase the $10 class. Also, make sure that you, if you want a Magic of Me intuitive natal chart reading, a Clarity Now reading, that you book those now, because I only have a few left for the remainder of 2019. And then leave a love offering or donation. That link is down below. In support of this channel, if this work is benefiting you in any kind of way, I greatly appreciate it. No donation is too big or too small. And I can't remember if I said this or not. I think I did, but I'm gonna say it again anyway. Make sure you comment your card selection on or before Monday, November 18th. When you do that, you are automatically included to win. Your name is included in the raffle to win the November giveaway, which is announced at the end of the month. And every week that you comment, every Monday that you comment for that week's pick a card, your name goes in the hat again, so it increases your chances of winning. All right, so y'all, when I lay these out, sometimes I, like, I'll know, okay, I want these to go on the first group, I want these to go, on the second group, I want this crystal and whatnot to go on the fourth group. But I never, first of all, I never know what the cards are. I flip them over. When you see them is when I see them, right? But a lot of times I just kind of, whatever ends up on top of the cards as I'm doing, laying them down is what it is. So it wasn't until I got ready to film your portion of this reading that I realized this fire agate is with this ginger. Two very fiery, powerful, potent elements this or items. This fire agate, oh my gosh, it's such a beautiful stone. I just got this a few weeks ago, and fire agate really works with that root chakra, meaning grounding you, helping you to feel safe and secure. It's a stone of protection, and it can return any negative energy that is sent your way back to the one who sent it. So it's a very protective stone. It's a fiery, passionate, it don't play kind of stone. So if you already hyped up energy or angry, you might want to put this one to the side, cool off a little bit, get a blue lace agate or something. Something soothing and calm, or even this green calcite, right? And then come back to this one, because this stone is not that it makes you angry, it's potent, it's fiery. If you're lacking energy, if you need motivation and drive, it helps to add to that. But it also, like I said, adds to that protective energy, protecting you, protecting your home, protecting your energetic space. And anybody intentionally sending you any negativity, I mean, it helps you to send that energy back to that person. So then ginger root here, this ginger that I have, ginger, if you've ever eaten a piece of ginger raw, you already know it is fire. Like, it will burn your mouth, and even ginger when it's diluted, like included in, like a ginger beer, ginger soda, is still very, very spicy. It's very, very hot. It's very potent. It's one of those roots. I don't think it's an herb per se, but it's a root, I think. That helps to clear your lungs, your respiratory system, your sinuses. I've used this recently because I'm getting over a cold, so I use this. I put just a little piece of this what do you call it, peeled the skin with a potato peeler, and then just chopped up a little piece and put it in a smoothie, blended it up, and it added like a little spice, a little kick to my green smoothie. But it also helped to, remove mucus, really, so it's clearing. It's fire. It doesn't play. In terms of energy uses or magical, uses, again, it's one of those herbs, and even the essential oil of ginger can be added to an oil base that can be used for protection. But these two together, like their fire energy, can heat up anything. Like they can add passion and renewed passion or whatever to a lackluster love relationship, right? They can add that spice back to it. It can add spice back to your business. It can help to re-energize you, re-motivate you, as well as providing that protection, that wall of protection around you, and a wall of fire is what some people would say it, protecting you even against your enemies. So this is a very potent and powerful combination. Used with care, but use knowing that it's working for you. So anyway, and like I always say, if you want to know more, make sure you Google fire agate and ginger. Just look up, there's tons of resources on health and nutritional uses for ginger, and how, just the way it helps your body. And it's reminding me of a class also I did last year. I did a 21-day, it was called, what was that class called? Sexy, Powerful, and Loving. Sexy, Powerful, and Loving 21 Days Chakra Reboot. And it dealt with the sexy was your sacral, power was your solar plexus, and loving was your heart chakra. 21-day reboot. And I had this fire water recipe that I did, which was basically just lemons and ginger to clean out your system and re-energize you, and add that passion back into your life, and that motivation and that drive back into your life. So anyway, if you like I was saying, it's lots of nutritional uses for ginger, and how it can heat up your body. And if you're dealing with, I'm not a nutritionist, so it's a lot of them will say, if you're dealing with high blood pressure or things like that, you want to be careful with ginger. But definitely Google the uses for ginger, both medicinally and nutritionally, but also it's in terms of energy and magic, as well as fire agate as well. Okay, so the card that you have on the top here comes from my Goddess Energy deck, and some of the goddesses I'm familiar with, some I am still learning about, so I will give my own 2 cents about it, and I will also read the information that comes with the card. As you know, I say this all the time, we are collaborating in these readings. So, what do you feel when you see this goddess? I want to say, is this Ellen? What do you feel when you look at this card? And I say this because, a lot of times people will go to YouTube, watch all types of readings, and just want everybody to tell them about themselves. But I also want my audience to begin to sharpen your own intuition. Maybe I'll do a class on that. I'm on sharpening your own intuition and trusting and having confidence in what you are feeling as well. So it was very interesting that as I'm looking at this card, and I don't know if the artist did this intentionally, when you first look at it, just looks like a halo with some little patterns in it, but it's making me feel like a serpent, like a snake. It was very interesting. It says pattern. When you look at snake skin, the pattern that is in snake skin is actually kind of intricately beautiful, right? There's a pattern to it. And that's kind of what this energy is making me feel like. This is not a goddess that I'm familiar with, so I don't know. I'm gonna read the information that comes with this card, but but that is what is coming to me initially is snake skin and the pattern that is in a snake skin. But also looking at the patterns that are in our lives, and the patterns that repeat over and over again in our lives, and paying attention to that. So let's see what this goddess has to say. Whether you believe in the goddesses as real people or energies or entities or not, or maybe if you just see them as mythological characters, it doesn't really matter. It's their stories that provide the lessons for us. And also, whether you're a man or a woman, it doesn't matter. The goddesses have words of wisdom and lessons for us all. So her empowerment message says, excuse me, have you noticed patterns in your life that lead to positive experiences? Developing positive habits introduces new patterns into the fabric of reality and will support your dreams as they take form in the material world. It takes awareness and discipline to make this happen, but you can do it. It's time to allow the experience of a new happiness. If you do, the Celtic goddess of paths and patterns, Ellen, will show you a new way to your dreams. All manner of miracles are possible. Now is also the time to build bridges across any divides with others that have temporarily separated you. Your path is clear. The way will be shown as you make new choices for your life, with the goddess known as Ellen of the Ways as your happy guide. Wow. So, it's very interesting with us being still in this Mercury retrograde time. And even if you're watching this after November 20th, like I was saying earlier, Mercury retrograde goes beyond November 20th. It actually will still be impacting us well into December. And so Mercury retrograde always encourages us to look into our habits, our past, and it actually brings it up to us in the form of obstacles and problems, sometimes rifts with people, to show us it's not so much about the other person or the problem or the obstacle. It's showing us how we respond to the problems and the obstacles. It shows us our patterns of behavior so that we can course correct and change. And so, it's very interesting that the empowerment message talks about, introducing us to new positive habits, new positive patterns that will help move us closer to our dreams. So the alignment message, and the alignment message is basically, if you find yourself out of alignment with the empowerment message, this is what you need to know. So the alignment message says, familiar patterns show up when you fall asleep at the wheel of your life and when you expect things to be a certain way out of habit. Whatever conditions are recurring for you right now, you are being invited to see them as an opportunity to move beyond the limits of your expected disappointment or habitual behavior. If you do what you have always done, then you can expect the same patterns to continue. If you don't want to repeat a lesson or find yourself back on the same path with the same people, same conditions and results, then you must choose to think, do, and be differently. Ellen of Ways offers this alignment task. Make a commitment to change your way and choose to allow for new paths to be explored. It's time to take a look at your need to always wonder if the other shoe will drop and how you will remain in familiar territory although you're not content. Ellen will show you the way out. You just need to want to follow. So, wow, again, with us being in Mercury retrograde, it's showing us the patterns of our behaviors and our default settings and what we default to. And sometimes, those default settings are not working. So we have to create new patterns, new habits, new rituals, new ways of going about life so that we can change the outcome. And so this may be a good time, a good week, because this week our focus is what you most need to know, do, and be aware of, as it relates to us transitioning from Scorpio season into Sagittarius and still dealing with Mercury retrograde. And all of that means, all of what I just said means learning how to go deep, face the deepest, darkest parts of yourself, know what you need to keep and know what you need to get rid of and change. And so that may be, certain habits and your patterns and your default way of thinking, default way of behaving, speaking, reacting, responding, and etc. So this is a good week for you to look into what patterns and habits and rituals in your life you need to change so that you can have a different and better and more productive outcome. All right, so you know what I always tell you to do. If you want to know more about this goddess, Google Ellen Ellen of Ways, and perhaps her story can give you more guidance and insight on your life for this week. All right, so these cards here, the one on the bottom is your general wisdom and guidance, and the one that crosses it can tell you what can help or hinder that particular card there. So, wow, you received the Seven of Pentacles and the Nine of Wands. The Seven of Pentacles and the Nine of Wands. All right, so the Seven of Pentacles is a card of waiting. It's a card of planting your seed and patiently waiting. Excuse me, I'm going to take a sip of water. Planting your seeds and knowing that what you have worked for, knowing the work that you've done, knowing the diligence that you've put forth, your hard work, your determination, your focus and drive will produce fruit, right? That's a guarantee. But what's not a guarantee is how you will wait in the process. Will you wait for your harvest to come in patiently, confidently, knowing that it's coming? Or will you wait for it in an angry, impatient, frustrated, when is it going to happen? I'm tired of waiting. I'm tired of hitting these same obstacles. I'm tired of hitting the same brick wall kind of way. That's up to you. The Seven of Pentacles is a card of patience, basically. But it's a card of faith. It's a card of faith in knowing that excuse me, the good seeds that you have planted will produce fruit, that you do have a harvest coming to you. And y'all, I'm really not trying to just state this or just be super redundant and ridiculous, but the reason why I just keep pushing hard on this Mercury retrograde, and even my audio class at 10 tips to thriving, not surviving, but thriving during Mercury retrograde, is because I strongly believe that it is the last major obstacle that many of us will face in 2019, and how we get through it will be whether or not we are positioned for prosperity for 2020. So I'm saying this because some of you have some remarkable seeds in the ground. Some of you have diligently sown amazing seeds this year. You have, planted seeds for your harvest. You started that business. You've tried to heal those relationships. You have, tried, just things. You maybe made investments. You have done new things to try to set yourself up for the win. And you're in that last position. Nine of Wands is a card of being in the last position, but you're in that last position of just holding on for dear life for those seeds to produce the fruit that you are waiting for. The Nine of Wands is a card of being knocked down and getting up again, being resilient, being unstoppable, being such a believer in your ambitions and what you have set forth, that even though you've had bumps and bruises, you've been knocked down, you've been hurt, you've been offended, maybe people talked about you, maybe people have actually actively tried to harm you or sabotage your work, or just go against you in some kind of way, but no matter what, you just keep getting up because you just keep believing that if you just stand, you will eventually receive the fruit of your labors. You'll receive your harvest. Your ship will come in. The thing you've been waiting for will actually manifest. And so these two cards are really saying, like, yes, you have planted remarkable seeds and you are in that last hump of, oh my God, when is it going to come forth? And the Nine of Wands is crossing it, saying, it's coming, but continue to hold on. So I'm seeing this and I'm saying that it may not manifest for you this week, but it is coming. And if you can hold on if you can continue to persevere, if you can continue to believe in your dreams, continue to hope and to have faith, and not counteract the good that you've sown by giving up. There's no point in coming this far if you're going to give up. There's no point in having planted all of these seeds, or all these pentacles that's about to come up, all this fruit, all of this abundance that's on its way to you, if you're going to take this last obstacle, these last challenges of 2019, and allow them to take you out and to knock you out. The Nine of Wands is not about that. The Nine of Wands is about getting back up. The Nine of Wands is definitely fire agate, like being unstoppable, being resilient, being strong, being powerful, being rooted and grounded, trusting in the seeds that you've planted, being unmovable, and resisting any attacks against the seeds that you have put in the ground, because you know that it's coming. But like the goddess Ellen of Ways is saying, that perhaps this week though will be a great week for you to since you're still waiting, since you're still persevering, since you're still you're on that last hurdle. What may be blocking you is some of your habits, your own thoughts, your own words, your own dealings. I'm really feeling like some of you, it might be even your own dealings with other people. Like, you may have good intentions, you may have like put good seeds in the ground, you may have started great businesses, you might have had great ideas, you might have tried interview for that job, you might have done all these wonderful things that could be promising, but it might be your attitude that's blocking you. It might be how you talk to other people. It may be the bridges that you've burned. It might be that you may need to apologize to some folk, or just go back and change how you operate when it comes to other people. Because sometimes we think it's our skill. Like, you may be thinking that you deserve your breakthrough just because you're talented, you're skillful, or you know what you're doing. And 9 times out of 10, what does it say? What is it saying? That a lot of times it's your attitude. You ever see somebody who's not as talented as you get the position that you want, or get the breakthrough that you thought you should have had because you were smarter, you were more ambitious, you thought that you had more of a, you deserved it more, you worked harder for it, and for whatever reason they got it because their attitude was better or they knew how to talk to people better. Sometimes it's those very basic people skills and character skills that set you over, that give you the breakthrough that your work can't do for you. Sometimes your attitude can take you a lot further than what your skill set and your hard work can do for you. So this week, yeah, you've done the work, you know what I mean? But this week, perhaps just go back in and look at yourself. Like, look at your patterns of behavior, your attitude, how you deal with other people, your maybe even just the way you think or your words. And see, perhaps, are any of those things blocking you from the breakthrough that you actually have worked hard to receive. All right. So let's see what wisdom card you receive. Wow. The Tribe. Wow. And this is a very people-oriented card, which kind of ties into what I was just saying, because I feel like some of you, maybe not all of you who selected this group, card group number 3, but some of you maybe really just feel like you should have it just on the strength of your work alone, or your skill set alone, or your talent. But you live in a world with other people. And sometimes it's how you deal with other people, or how other people feel when they're working with you, or how you make other people feel when they're working with you, that can determine whether or not those doors of opportunity will open to you. All right, so the Tribe says community, belonging, being seen and understood by others, like-minded connections, a sense of family and friendship, knowing your place in the world. This card signals a new affiliation with a group. Humans are social creatures, and we need to know we are useful to our tribes, families, and communities. In a tribe, everyone has an important function and feels I matter. Membership in the group provides a sense of belonging, of kinship, and of purpose that comes from working together for the greater fulfillment of all. Perhaps you are part of a spiritual community or an artistic one. Perhaps you are in a learning community where you share your love of education. Regardless of its form or focus, your community brings you joy. You will be inspired by it and want to contribute to it. Your contribution may be as small as showing up or as large as becoming its leader. No matter your position in the tribe, your presence is needed. So some of you, it's really about you showing up now, not just your work, not just everything you've done, how hard you worked, how many times you've been knocked down and gotten up. Right now it may just be about you just showing up and showing your heart, showing who you really are. Showing yourself as a human, a genuine person. It's like sometimes, this is why companies sometimes, as part of their public relations, they just don't just sell you what they're selling, right? It's like I'm thinking about, for example, like McDonald's, for example, right? McDonald's doesn't just do commercials about their burgers and fries. Then they also have like commercials on maybe community initiatives, or you might meet the CEO or different people, because they want to show a human side to their corporate side. And some of you, I'm using this example because some of you may only be showing up and trying to prove yourself so hard by saying, I've done all this work, I planted all these seeds, people keep knocking me down, but I keep getting back up, I keep standing strong, and ain't nobody gonna stop me, and I grind hard and I work hard and I hustle hard, and I'm gonna make this breakthrough happen. And the thing that might get your breakthrough is you just show your human side. Look at this giraffe touching that other giraffe, and it's compassion. You know what I mean? It's showing up and just saying like, wow, not only do I work hard, but I have a human heart. I'm compassionate. I'm a team player. It's not just about me and my harvest and my seeds that are coming up, but I'm working hard because I have a vision for how it will help my community, my tribe. So it's not just about the money I will make or me, reaching this goal or this objective or being ambitious, but it's about me sharing my gifts and my talents with the world, and how I show up. My presence matters because it's also a blessing to my tribe and my community. So you might just need to show that part of yourself, and it's going to take you doing like what this goddess, Ellen of Ways, creating new patterns with how you show up in the world, how you deal with people, because that may be the thing that gets you the breakthrough that you are yearning for. All right, so that is your reading for this week, November 17th through the 23rd. Make sure you comment your card selections down below by Monday, November 18th. If you want to be in the running to win our November giveaway. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure you click the links down below to get the 10 tips to thriving during Mercury Retrograde season. Also to book a personal reading, to get my book, The Magic of Self-Love, and to leave a love offering. I greatly appreciate those. And no donation is too small or too big. So anyway, thanks again so much for watching. And until we speak again, I am wishing you all so much peace and love. All right, so thank you for watching the Pick a Card reading for this week. Make sure you comment your card selections down below by Monday, November 18th to be in the running to win our November giveaway. Make sure you click the link below to get the 10 tips to thriving during Mercury Retrograde season, and also to book a personal reading, to get my book, The Magic of Self-Love, and to leave a love offering or donation in support of this channel. Again, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you for watching. And until we speak again, I am wishing you all so much peace and love.